Hey folks, welcome back to the RC Informer YouTube channel. Today I just have a quick tip on tightening up your flight controls in certain situations. Today I have this Dynam C47 that I'm getting ready to go. You guys can get this plane at BitGo Hobby. Check the links below. I'm getting this thing ready to fly, and I notice that sometimes with airplanes like this, you end up with some flight control surface play. And you can see here as I move this aileron, there's a little bit of play in there. I can hear and feel a clicking in there. It's okay to fly it like this. You're not going to have any problems, but I've often noticed that when I tighten up my flight controls, get as much play out of them as I can, I have a much more precision control of the airplane. I can fly it better. I can fly it more precisely. And I decided to, I think some of this in some of my other videos, but I don't really remember specifically, so I thought I'd just make a short video, show you guys how I tighten up and get some of this play out of here in certain instances. Now sometimes you have things you can't fix, like for example your servo horn itself may be moving forward and back. You may have your gear train together with a lot of play in the gear train. That's just the cheapness quality of the servo, where you just have too much play between servo gears. Can't do anything about it. Other times you have the servo spline shaft where the output arm fits on it, and those splines on there, they also have play in them. A lot of times you can't do anything about that either, but in this particular case, actually this SPEKTRUM servo on this Dynam plane is very tight. It has a tight gear train, a tight spline shaft, so there's no play there. Sometimes you can have an easy connector or a ball link or something here that has a bunch of play in it as well, but this is actually very tight. Where I'm finding the play coming in this particular situation is that, and this is a perfect example of this, when you move the flight control up and down, you can see the Z-bend is moving within the hole, and this is the most common cause of play. The hole basically in the servo arm is too large for the Z-bend that was put in there. So you can see as I'm moving this, all that play in there, and I'm going to zoom in to really show you what that looks like. You can see as I move this, look at all that movement in there. So ultimately it would have been nice if that hole was smaller and we rammed the Z-bend in there and there's no play at all in there, and it's a nice tight fit, and then we have a tight flight control. But we can't always do that. Sometimes if we need to, we move it to an inner hole, like the inner holes on this are actually tighter than that outer hole, so that would work. But to get full movement out of the control horn, I want that outer hole right now. And so what we're going to do is it would be nice too if they gave you extra arms, but a lot of times they don't. And a lot of times the arm is unique to that servo and you really don't have another one to change it out with. So here's what we're going to do. We're essentially going to fill that hole, that big area of movement there. We are going to fill that with CA and get rid of all that play. And we're going to just do it right here on camera and show you. All I'm going to do is just take a little bit of thin CA. You want to use a micro precision dropper like you see here. And simply all we're going to do is very, very carefully, I'm going to zoom in on this so everybody can really see this horn well. Let me see if I can get in on there tight. There we go. Using only a tiny bit of glue, we're going to put that micro dropper right down there, okay? And we're going to just get a little bit to come out. You can see the drop there. And we'll put just enough to fill that hole, and that's it. So we've now filled the gap, the extra space between there. And what's going to happen is that's going to dry up. And what's very important that when you do this, you leave the airplane alone for a while. Let it sit there for at least several hours so that glue completely cures and completely dries. And then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the end result of what we get out of this thing. Okay guys, we're now fast forwarded several hours. I let this thing dry, so it's bone dry, and I'll zoom in on it so you can kind of see what it looks like. It's now solidly glued in place, and what we've done is taken basically the hole that had a lot of space in it, and we filled that with CA. So instead of having that Z-bend moving around in it, it's now tight and it's kind of form-fitted around it. Now, what's going to happen with this is normally the CA glues to something. CA usually actually doesn't bond to metal or nylon of the horn, but it just kind of glues itself and kind of freezes in place there. And normally what will happen is it will either bond to the metal, or it'll bond to the nylon horn itself. And the first time you move this thing, because it's pretty much locked in there, it's actually, you're going to hear a little cracking sound as that bond breaks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and move it here. And you hear that little snap. That snap clearly shows you that what has happened is that thing has is broken free, and it looks like in this particular case, as you can see in here, let me see if I can get just a little bit closer on this thing. What has happened is the glue has bonded itself to the horn, as you can see, and notice that when I move the control surface, and let me back out so we can kind of see that a little bit better. As I move the control surface, notice the play is gone. It's completely disappeared. We have no more, and I'll move it here a little bit as it's zoomed closer in. As I move this thing, notice there's zero play. We now have a form-fitted, really just a custom hole in there where this thing has absolutely zero movement to it. So this is going to really tighten up your controls. Some guys can't feel this in the controls, but I can, and I've found that this really makes my planes fly, you know, much more precisely if you can get rid of that. Also, another area for play, sometimes these horns aren't totally glued in there all that well, and you'll actually see this area right here. As you move your horn, you'll feel that movement. You'll see it move up and down. So sometimes you got to pull this out, re-glue it in place so it's pretty darn secure. So anyway, folks, just a quick tip. I often have tips like this and things riddled throughout all of my videos, and I'm trying to break some of them down and put them into individual videos so you guys can watch something shorter and really get just a quick tip like this that will help you kind of really get your planes flying, you know, much more precisely. And it's always helped me out for years doing stuff like this. All these videos are available on the RCINFORMER YouTube channel. So again, check in the upper right hand corner of your screen right here. I'll have some drop down videos of that you guys can check out on RCINFORMER right here. And we do appreciate you guys supporting us. We do have links in the video description below where you guys can buy this C-47 and other aircraft. Anytime you guys use our videos, again, in our links in our description below. That supports our channel at no cost to you, and we do appreciate you guys you know, purchasing through our links. We really do appreciate that. Guys have responded very well to that. And you know, we try to make everything better for you guys. We don't make, of course, my new slogan I think is you know, we don't make any of the planes that you guys buy, but we do make many of the planes that you guys buy better. And I'm always trying to improve this stuff so you guys get good info and get your planes flying right. So anyway, guys, we have Instagram. Check us out on Instagram. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And I've recently learned that you guys can really help us out a lot by just liking our videos. I've recently learned that the YouTube algorithm actually, when you guys hit the like button, the more time you hit the like button on our videos, that actually sends kind of triggers the YouTube algorithm to have our videos seen by more people. So that really helps us out. We do really appreciate that, guys. So anyway, stay tuned. More videos coming. Thanks for watching RCINFORMER, guys. And as always, we'll see you guys next time.